Hey guys, I know it's been a while, but don't worry, you haven't even missed a lot because it's been a relatively slow month. Okay, so we're going to be starting with Euro US dollar on the weekly time frame. We broke swing structure at this point. Here, with this break of internal structure on the weekly time frame, we initiated the pullback into the weekly premium, okay, into the premium zone. And since after doing that, we actually broke internal structure, weekly internal structure to the downside, which is a potential indicator that the weekly pullback might be over and we could expect a move downwards. So currently, what it means is that we're dealing with this particular range of price action right now, this particular range of weekly internal price action. So we can just get rid of this. Now within this range of weekly internal price action, we managed to get into the premium area as well and tap into this supply zone. Okay. Now since tapping into this supply zone, we've seen a pin bar, we've seen a considerable reaction. However, we haven't exactly seen a failure of this demand here. Okay. Now what that essentially means is that we haven't exactly seen a proper change of character on the weekly time frame to indicate that perhaps this pullback might be over. Okay. And what a proper change of character would look like would be for this demand to fail, right? So when price gets below this demand, it would then look like a change of character to potentially continue to the downside. All right. Okay, sorry. So let's go down to the lower time frame. Okay. So on the lower time frame, this weekly break of internal structure we talked about here. Let's just go back and look at it one more time. Here we had the break of weekly internal structure. Because the market is fractal, this break of weekly internal structure is actually our break of daily swing structure. Okay. So what we do actually have within this range is not only a weekly internal pullback, but a daily swing pullback. Okay. And if we look at the daily internal price action we have here, we can see that this was our last break of daily internal structure here to the upside. And we haven't exactly had a break of structure to the downside. Now this break of internal structure to the downside would be the same as the change of character that we're expecting on the weekly time frame, right? So what it means is that this demand, right? This demand has every possibility of holding because the daily internal structure, is still bullish, right? Now the expectation is that price is going to go for this weak internal high, right? But because we're currently reacting from this weekly supply zone, which has a daily supply zone within it, okay? Because we're reacting off of this weekly supply zone, there's every possibility that we could see price actually break, right, and realign bearish. Or what we could see what we could potentially see is price react off of this demand zone, break entire structure, perhaps go for this extreme demand zone here, perhaps, and then we're just going to see what happens next. Okay, but at the moment, daily internal structure is bullish. Okay, so it's just well, not necessary. Just skip this here. So let's go down to the 4-hour time frame very quickly. On the 4-hour time frame, it's basically the same thing, right? The market is fractal. In this case, this daily break of internal structure just happens to be the break of 4-hour swing structure. All right. Now, if we study the internal 4-hour structure very closely, what we're going to see is that we broke 4-hour internal structure here, right? Now bear with me, this is just like a reference, it's a reference point. So we broke 4-hour internal structure here. And technically we broke internal structure here as well. We did so here, right? So when we follow price all the way down, currently what we're dealing with right now is that we've broken 4-hour internal structure here. Okay, so price has come all the way into this 4-hour demand zone here. Within this daily demand zone, we've seen a reaction that has broken 4-hour internal structure. Now, I actually did catch a late trade here on Friday, but it hit break even before market close, right? How that worked is that, so the 4-hour break of internal structure was here, correct? But when we map the 1-hour structure, what we're going to see is that the 1-hour break of the internal structure was actually here. All right. Now, before NFP, I saw this liquidity pool here. Obviously, if I'm being sheepish about my mechanical strategy, then I would have found a reason to enter here. But we're not doing that, right? So very clearly, this is a liquidity pool. So I simply waited, and as soon as I saw this candle drop, what I did was I marked out, obviously, this other block had been already marked out, right? So when price came in, it was actually a very simple execution. I didn't execute on the 1 minute this time. I rather did on the 5 minute, okay? So what I did was I simply waited for a 5 minute change of character as soon as price got into this 1-hour other block. Now, initially, I didn't want to take this trade. And the reason was because of this triple bottom here. I don't like seeing this and then taking a trade at top. I don't normally do that, right? But in some cases I do. And in this case, I did. So as soon as there was this 5 minute change of character here, which was tight enough for me, I executed manually, okay? And as usual, I set my risk to reward at exactly 1:3. Now, it was a, I might say it was a bit cruel, because the way that I manage all of my trades is that at 50% of the trade, I move to break even. Okay, so at this point, I moved to break even. Okay, and after moving to break even, hold on, sorry. No, actually, took this trade a bit higher than this. Yeah, it was somewhere. It wasn't a perfect execution. Yeah, I took it somewhere around there, and yeah. So I moved to break even, and yeah, it just tapped. Actually, it just tapped the 50% level, causing me to move to break even, and then it just starts break even, and yeah, that was pretty much that. But that's all right. Price action hasn't exactly been the best. It's even been much worse on GBP USD. So that's actually that for that. Thank you for tuning in so far. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.